Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. And by New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation, New Orleans, where stories are created. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hi, Peg.
Look great in red, darling.
It's my color.
You, very pretty. Making her Steppin Out debut, Katie Thomas Bautsch, and she is the Vice President of Operations for Blue Runner Foods. And we like to keep it local and talk local, so we're thrilled she's here. Hello, welcome to you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And Alan Smason of the Crescent City Jewish News and Theater Criticism.com. By the way, we're going to have a performance by New Orleans singer-composer Sarayah a little bit later in our show. But first up, Poppy.
It's hot outside. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Well, everybody in the city seems to be responding to the heat with solutions. So I've got some cool ideas for us this week, and we're going to start off at La Boulangerie on Magazine Street because they have started making ice creams, delicious frozen things.
Okay.
And they're doing it all with local ingredients. I know some from John Dale Farms. There's blackberry sherbet, cantaloupe sorbet, and watermelon sorbet.
Ooh, wow.
Ice cream flavors include bacon praline, vanilla with a strawberry swirl, mint chocolate, coconut latte, and a carrot cake ice cream. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big shocker. Where do you get a snowball in the French Quarter, Peggy?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
Well, you know, there was no place to get a real New Orleans snowball. It didn't exist. Now you can get them at Antoine's Annex on Royal Street. They're serving snowballs, the real thing, along, of course, with iced coffee
that
and
Rick
pastries.
Blunt, he knows.
Oh,
He's
they're
smart.
so smart over there. Well, these snowball flavors include bubblegum, ice cream, strawberry spearmint, watermelon, and wedding cake. There are sugar-free options, but here's something else. Yes, Virginia, you can add a shot of liquor to that snowball if you would like to have a boozy French Quarter style snowball. And right there, across from the historic New Orleans collection. So plan your frozen treat. And then, of course, right around the corner at Antoine's, 3-course lunch for $20.19 with 25-cent cocktails. But, Virginia, they're limiting you to 3 of those. And, I mean, really, charbroiled oysters and fried chicken at Antoine's for $20.19. How can you beat that? Well, Ralph Brennan's doing a pretty good job with $33.
Yes.
I love his summer special time, and that has come again, starting next Tuesday, running nightly, weekends too, through September 30th. There's 16 different choices of yummy things that you can pick 3 of with a glass of wine for $33, like turtle soup, coconut corn and crab soup, crab gratin, tuna tartare, teriyaki, tempura shrimp creole. Isn't that interesting? A grilled Vegas strip with a romesco sauce. Yum.
May I add a PS? The other thing is those appetizers, the portion sizes are very generous. So it's not, because sometimes you think, well, it's small bites, you know, that term. Not at all. They're really, no, this is a deal. This
Lovely
is a deal.
dinner,
Okay.
glass of wine, dessert is a la carte. And then, you know, it's so hot outside, but sometimes it's so cold in the air conditioning, and it's just nice to be outside. I had the loveliest lunch at one of my favorite places I almost forgot, Namise on Tulane Avenue. They have great outdoor seating, and I had lunch outside, and I was very comfortable, and oh my God, the food was so good. There was a house-made strawberry limeade that I'd never tried before, and a bon su, that's that crispy Vietnamese crepe with roasted pork and shrimp and bean sprouts and lettuce and cucumber. It was so fresh. It was the perfect lunch. And it was fabulous.
I love their spring rolls. I've got to add a PS on that one, too.
Absolutely. So don't forget, great outdoor seating.
Okay, thank you so much. And it's great to have Miss Katie. And Katie, you know, when you walked into the studio and we were introducing you around, there were so many Blue Runner stories, because certainly if you don't have the time to start from scratch, a can of Blue Runner red beans really makes it happen. But it's not just red beans anymore, is it?
No,
And let's talk about the business.
Okay.
How old is the company?
The company is now 101 years old.
Wow.
We turned 100 in 2018. We started as a cannery with fruits and vegetables, and then in 1952, the owner at the time used his grandmother's recipe to make cream-style red beans, and it's still our recipe.
Well, you've got lots more products, and we'll be showing them as we chat. But where are y'all located? You know, give us from scratch.
We're located in Gonzales. We moved into our facility in 1946, so we've been there for a long time. It's been there a long time, and that's where we produce everything.
Well, I like in the more recent past, you've had some really cute commercials
Thank
and
you.
Billboards, kind of a new look.
Yeah, we've been trying to capitalize on some of the younger people to New Orleans who don't necessarily know our product as much as something that they ate growing up, and try to introduce them to a really healthy New Orleans meal, which sounds like an oxymoron, but isn't.
Well,
Red beans are very nutritious.
So among the more recent products, like a full meal, tell us about that.
We do. We have a meal kit that came along after our dry beans.
Okay, so that's actually fairly recent, too,
yes,
the dry beans.
We introduced dry beans in 2015.
Yes.
And then this year we brought out full meal kits. So they include rice, a full pound of our dry beans, and then a seasoning packet that you can just throw in a crock pot or an Instant Pot or cook on the stove and have your full meal ready to go.
Like that, but I mean, it's an instant party, which is nice.
It is, and it makes a lot of food. It's a full, 10 meals. It's very filling, and it's a great deal, and great product.
Yeah, I like your website.
Thank you.
Because you do you have a lot of videos on there.
We do. We have been working with Frank Brightson of Brightson's Restaurant, everyone knows, and he has developed recipes for us using all of our products, our canned gumbos, and takes his own twist on it, as well as some healthier items or recipes with our dry products, so like a black bean and mango salsa, an avocado toast with spicy navy beans. It's really wonderful. They're all really great.
So in terms of trying to come up with new things, what is the testing process of that? Does your family, because I know it's primarily family owned.
It is a family company.
Do you all sit in a room and say, gee, this would be kind of a cool thing, or do you?
That's literally what it is.
I'm always curious about that.
We are trying to decide what's next, and aren't to a point where I can say anything, but it has involved a lot of me in my kitchen, just trying a bunch of recipes, and that's truly what it is. And calling my dad, telling him how mine turned out, him telling me how his turned out, and just going from there. But so that's how we come up with all of our recipes.
Well, we got to brag on your dad, because your dad is involved with many really interesting things, including Port Orleans.
He is.
Okay.
He is. He's a partner
and
in
Crescent
Port
City
Orleans.
Classic too, huh?
He is. He's a
so I love
partner in the Crescent City Classic as well.
Runner.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun to work with him.
And you've been there a while now.
I have. I've been there for 7 years. So it is a really fun company to work for. It's been really great.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on
Thank
the growth.
Thank you so much.
Part of it
Thank
too.
you.
Yes. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Matthew Clark Jr. told us the name of a famous Navy air show group, and the Gulf Coast town is based in the Blue Angels, of course, in Pensacola, Florida. Now, tonight's question: what are two cities located along the Tchefuncte River? One has a lighthouse. Email your answers to Steppin Out at WYES.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, an apron with the message "Claw in Order." Love that, from our friends at WearableVegetables.com, and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. You can go to our WYES.org online calendar, and it has all kinds of great information, including a mention about artist Katie Rafferty's exhibit, which ends tomorrow tomorrow at the Cole Pratt Gallery, so one more day. You can link to WYES's YouTube channel to see our program. Earlier this afternoon, New Orleans singer-composer Sarayah came to our WYES studios to tell us about herself, her CDs, and perform for us. Sarayah, how exciting to have not one but 2 current CDs. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Woo-hoo. The first one by Basin Street Records and then by your own label. Really exciting. And what I think is especially thrilling too is that you wrote all the music.
Yes, yes.
Tell me about that process.
Well, it took a lot of mind dedication, I tell you that. It did, and a lot of things that moves around you in life will definitely influence you to write about, you know.
Well, a little bit of Rihanna influence and a
Yes.
little Ariana or Grande,
Yes,
of course,
Bob
inspiration.
Marley,
But your
all
mama
of it.
too, huh?
Yes, most definitely my mother.
Gotta give her credit there.
Have to.
Well, your name is so beautiful, and I understand it means princess,
Yes,
Sarayah, in Hebrew.
Yes,
and you're a
ma'am.
New Orleans girl.
Yes,
Tell us about
ma'am.
that.
Love New Orleans. Love New Orleans. Gumbo, all the good stuff.
Absolutely, me too. You have been busy because we're talking about Tipitinas, Blue Nile, House of Blues.
Yes.
Wow, but the big thing is that Friday a week, you've got your debut album party going on
Yes.
at Cafe Istanbul.
Yes.
So you're going to be singing from the album, I assume?
Yes, I'm going to be singing from my Naturally album. Right here.
Yes, yes.
My Naturally debut album is going to be a release party on July 5th at Club Istanbul on this Friday. So I hope to see you guys come out and support. It's going to be really great because it's going to be naturally.
Well, tell us what you are going to sing for us tonight.
I'm going to be doing my hottest new single called One Shot.
One Shot, and
Yes.
and you have some assistants?
Yes, and my assistant, Miss Mina Soul, my beautiful backup singer.
All right, so now let's hear from this dear lady, and we'll hear One Shot.
One shot only. Can't have a girl, can't work with no phonies. I've been loving you till matrimony, but I'm out of time, my career is calling. I'm walking my path into my righteousness. Don't know where I'm going, but I pass this test. I love you, baby, there is no regrets, but I gotta see what's gonna happen next. My heart skip a beat every time I see you. Yet work is calling, saying I need you. You get all mad like I'm gonna leave you, but I'm making bags because I gotta feed you. I'm working, I'm rolling, working, I'm rolling. I'm making big bills from all this touring. Up day and night, keeping you secure. I'm swimming my way through, but the ocean's roaring. Cause only one shot and one shot only.
Only one shot, yeah, only one shot, yeah.
Only one shot and one shot only.
Only one shot, yeah, only one shot, yeah.
Only one shot and one shot only.
Only one shot, yeah, only one shot, yeah.
Only one shot and one shot only. I'm walking my path into my righteousness. Don't know where I'm going, but I got past this test. I love you, baby, there is no regrets, but I gotta see what's gonna happen next. I'm not leaving you, I'll see you later. Making bank, I'll see you later. I'm swimming my way through, I'll see you later. And gotta deal with life and all these haters. I'm walking my path into my righteousness. Don't know where I'm going, but I pass this test. I love you, baby, there is no regrets, but I gotta see what's gonna happen next. Only one shot and one shot only.
Only one shot, yeah, only one shot, yeah.
Only one shot and one shot only.
Only one shot, yeah, only one shot, yeah.
Only one shot and one shot only.
Only one shot, yeah, only one shot, yeah.
Only one shot and one shot only.
And a reminder that you can see Sarayah next Friday night at Cafe Istanbul during her new album release party. For more information, you can check out Sarayah Harrison's page on Facebook. And now it is time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring the artwork of Carmen Almon, and this is Morning Glow with Butterfly. Wow. Almon uses copper sheets and enamel to create these Botanica-themed works. And this is Pink Hydrangea with a spotted fritillary. You can view these as well as other works by Almon at the Octavia Art Gallery on Julia Street. The exhibit, by the way, lasts until tomorrow. Visit the gallery's website for more information. And now, Alan.
Well, you know,
I like your tie.
Thank you very much.
Three Stooges.
It's a guy thing, I can tell you.
It's a guy thing, the Three Stooges.
Le Petit Theatre de Vieux Carré, they announced their upcoming 2019-2020 season, and they're starting off the first half with really decidedly British offerings. Three British or England-related works. First off, there's the hysterical British farce called Noises Off, and it may have really documented the very worst opening night in history of theater that's imaginable. The play's scenic design is always imaginative and an integral part of the tale, as you get to see the workings of a play on many, many different sides, literally and figuratively. Then they'll bring back last year's highly successful rendition that they did of Ebenezer Scrooge's Christmas Carol. And then, of course, Ebenezer Scrooge last year was Bob Eads Jr., and he was just fantastic, directed by Maxwell Williams. And then the regional premiere of one of my favorite Broadway shows from back around 2016, other than Hamilton. This was Something Rotten.
Yes.
It was a send-up of William Shakespeare and the Renaissance, and there's really more Easter eggs in this show than on the White House lawn in April. So you'll love it if you love Broadway.
It's an hysterical show.
It is
we
wonderful.
Got to see it, too.
And again, you know, Christian Borle won the Tony Award as a featured performer in that one as well. Now, after Mardi Gras, they returned with August Wilson's The Piano Lesson, one of his most successful of his Pittsburgh cycle of plays. And right after that, the French Quarter Festival will be held, and during Jazz Fest and that area, Tony Kushner's Angels in America will be presented.
Wow.
Of course, it's in two parts, so I'm not quite sure how they're going to mount it, whether or not it will be both parts presented simultaneously or on different nights or what have you. But again, that's going to be very interesting for us here. Finally, A Night with Janis Joplin. I got to see this particular play. It's going to be playing here next June, but if it's the same lady who is the lead, it's fantastic, and I would really recommend it very highly. Again, that's their season for 2019-2020. Congratulations to Maxwell Williams and Don Scott Cooper. Again, a great job there. Now, in line with Independence Day and our patriotic theme, the National World War II Museum is presenting a work that has had its world premiere here back in 2013. I talked about it. It's called Freedom. It's largely a two-hander with Lorraine LeBlanc reprising her role as a Jewish Holocaust survivor and Curtis Billings playing the role of an Irish immigrant, both meeting in a naturalization center as they're both about to take their oath of loyalty to and take their citizenship, if you will, become citizens. This piece will tug at your heartstrings, but it's not all sad. Sean Patterson was involved with it, Joyce Pulitzer of Cherry's Jubilee fame, and the late David Seelig and Kitty Greenberg were also involved with their writing in this. A little bit of humor and a lot of conflict with freedom. I'll be reviewing it hopefully in the coming weeks, and you'll get to see something that will really make you appreciate the blessings that we have of liberty in this nation. Do check it out. Again, it's directed by Le Petit's Maxwell Williams. Now, with respect to Sarayah, don't throw away your shot, folks. If you don't have anything to do for July the 4th, I really recommend you pick up a copy of Ron Chernow's book upon which Hamilton was based, the Alexander Hamilton book. And then, of course, Revolution is the book that Lin-Manuel Miranda put out, which has got all the stories about the background of the creation of the musical. And again, that's a good way to get attuned to your musical and your patriotic heritage there. Now, for those that missed seeing Hamilton when it was here in March, I have great news. Do not despair, because it's returning to the Broadway in New Orleans series in 2020 and 2021. You'll see and hear more about that coming up. And fantastic news about that for those of you who are Hamilton fanatics. And also for those looking to show their patriotic fervor, Peggy, I know you love to watch it, and I do. It's my tradition every year to watch 1776, starring William Daniels in the role of John Adams. Well, for those course, who want to see it live, make it on over to Playmakers. They're going to have their version as well on the boards at Playmakers in Covington. Again, that's starting up, I believe, through July the 7th, so hopefully you get a chance to see that as well.
Isn't it a mostly female cast, I understand, too?
It's the most male cast ever, so for them to flip it is fantastic.
I know.
Normally the Martha Jefferson part is the only part that you have, and also, of course, Abigail Adams.
So it's primarily
so mostly everybody else is male.
I have to tell you that just for a moment, 1776, so important, and that was the first Broadway show I ever saw. Okay? And I actually saw William Daniels and Howard Da Silva in those roles. Okay,
it's funny.
I think it still holds up.
Yeah, and on the CD they had somebody else playing Howard Da Silva suffered a heart attack the first month, and so that first recuperative period that he was in, he was in on the CD when they
But
actually
he's in the movie version.
He's in the movie version. Almost everybody who was in the play, the musical on Broadway, was in the movie. Yeah. Fantastic.
No, I think it's great. And now it's time for our picks. Poppy.
Avo Taco. Now, this is a big deal in Miami and New York. They're popping up at Port Orleans Brewing Company this weekend through Sunday. So this famous taco joint's going to be serving specialty tacos, guacamole, and their famous street corn. They're going to be pairing that with Port Orleans Dorada and a new Mango Lassi. And you're going to love this. Friar Tuck's. It's a crew of Tuck's. Friar Water is the name of this new beer. And Soul Project NOLA, isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
Plays tomorrow. Music starting at 1. It's dog friendly, but I'm doing this for my friend Buddy because a portion of the weekend's proceeds benefits the Louisiana SPCA. That's where Buddy came from.
Okay.
Friar Tuck's, that's holy water then.
That's what they said. Friar Water. They're
Friar Water. Okay. Okay, Katie.
My pick would be our website, bluerunnerfoods.com. You can find fun recipes for the summer, videos. Just a great place to check out.
It must be a fun place to work, I'm thinking.
It's a really fun place to work. It's really good.
Alan.
So Sheer Madness, JPAS has been putting this on and off for the last several months. It's going to play its last dates through June the 30th, Sunday matinee at 3 p.m.
Oh, right. And my picks, the Jefferson Performing Arts Society's leading ladies guild is staging a variety show, Rollin' on the River, which is tomorrow and Sunday at the West Wego Performing Arts Center, of course, and that's visit jpas.org for tickets. Chris Champagne is actually one of the performers. I have to say that that leading ladies guild, which is an organization that helps JPAS, is one of the most devoted groups. They're helping, of course, Dennis Azaf, who tries to do a lot with this wonderful facility, but they're constantly thinking of ways to raise money for him, so my hat's off to him. And this is kind of fun. The Herman Grima House will be staging a lanyap brown bag luncheon in their courtyard on St. Louis, and that's next Wednesday from 11:30 to 1. The event is free. What you do is you bring your own lunch, but then they show you lots of cool, sort of show and tell stuff from the house. And they're doing this, and it's a relatively new concept, but that is one of the best places for staycations between Gallier House, which they are also in charge of, and the Herman Grima House. Both of those, if you're walking around the quarter during the summer. Plus, don't forget 520 Royal, the new historic New Orleans collection.
I took a tour there. It's fantastic.
Oh, it is incredible. Yeah, so lots to see in the quarter.
Residence
and the Kemper Williams residence. And that is frozen in time.
Oh, the kitchen and the butler's pantry. I could live there.
Absolutely. So you can go to HNOC's website, Herman Grimm's website, all kinds of great places to go in the quarter to keep cool. And don't miss this year's Happy 3rd of July celebration at the, of course, Gold Ring Woldenberg Great Lawn. That's at City Park. And you bring all your food and drink, and you get to listen to a great concert by the Marine Corps Band of New Orleans, as well as the Marine Corps Brass and Funk Band, baby, followed by fireworks. Visit City Park's website for more information. And join over 50 New Orleans luminaries as they do a marathon reading of the entire Mueller Report, okay, at the Happy Land Theater on Burgundy Street. The event lasts from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. on July 4th. Okay, so bring a blanket, right? And all proceeds go to the ACLU. Visit the website on your screen for tickets. And Michael Martin's involved. He's always doing something very imaginative. And there will be, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, a public memorial for a local musician and, of course, band leader Dave Bartholomew, who we lost. He was 100 years old, which was so amazing. But it's July 8th from 9 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. at St. Gabriel Church, that's in Gentilly, and on Pineda Street. And there'll be a public mass right after the memorial. Finally, and this is exciting, WYES's newest special, Chasing the Moon, the Crescent City Connection, produced by our own Marcia Cavanaugh, is airing tonight at 9 p.m. on this channel. And the documentary looks at how New Orleans played such an important role during the space race. You can go to WYES.org to see the other airings of it too. I have seen it, got a sneak preview, and it is fascinating because it does talk about all the efforts and all the organizations that were involved. And at one time, get this, there were 12,000 employees at the facility. And now there's just, it's scaled back, of course, only 2,500, but I had no idea how large it was at that point in the 60s and 70s.
I remember being there when they rolled out the space shuttle the first time. Oh my goodness, that was just the most massive thing I'd ever seen. And there were thousands of people there working. It was amazing, yeah.
And eventually it was actually put in its own barge.
Right, that's the way they did it. They sent it to
Florida. Which I think is kind of amazing, right? But I don't think that a lot of people know how much of a contribution the city made to that and the employees. So I want to thank our Marcia for teaching us this too. So thank you all very much for watching and for being here, of course.
Happy holidays.
And happy holidays. Happy 4th. Bye-bye.
I know you didn't mention Bill Oliver. Yeah. We lost Bill Oliver.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. And by New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation, New Orleans, where stories are created. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.